Let me check the super chats. Okay, I'll come back to that. Let me go to John out of Alabama. John, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good day, Joel. How are
How's it
you?
going, John?
All is well, right?
All is well.
So, a pattern of this authority. This is just a suggestion.
Okay.
And the first one or two examples, I don't think are very dramatic or controversial, but the third, maybe. I'll lay it out there, set it up for you, and you kind of pick through it. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
So pattern would be like responsibility, privilege. Hey, you clean the dishes. Talking to my son or daughter, clean the dishes, and you can play your game. That's first example.
Okay.
Second example. Hey, you cut the grass by Thursday, then you can go play your soccer game Saturday.
Yeah.
Supposed to rain Friday. The grass is not cut by Thursday. You ain't playing Saturday.
Yeah.
Now the third example is, hey, you want a date, be around a lady romantically. You got to be out the house on your own and providing for yourself before you can do that. So I would tell my 16-year-old son, I know you're into ladies. I know, you're not going to admit it, but you really like the lady.
Yeah.
And a privilege of being with that lady, the way you want to be with that lady, is you got to get the responsibility first. Marriage. So out the house on your own, you ain't got to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years. You meet the right one. She knows where you live, where you work. You can put groceries on the table. There's no impediment. You got the responsibility in place. And now you get to enjoy the privilege.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Joel. I teed it up for you, buddy. Go for it.
So, what's the question that you're asking me about that?
Well, I hear what you're saying about consequence, right? You're talking about legitimate authority.
Yeah.
I'm showcasing a pattern,
Okay.
right? A pattern of responsibility and privilege. And so I don't know how that fits, if that's compatible with your teaching for us today, or if that maybe is, doesn't really. Maybe it's askew. Maybe it doesn't quite fit what you're asking us or telling us about authority.
Okay, so first, I want to address that real authority is not based off of like rules that you give out, right? It's based off of the respect that your children or wife have for you because they see that within you. So authority comes from within, not from like rules from without, right? So you want to make sure that you have that or work on getting that, having that authority, which all you have to do is tell them once, hey, if you don't do this, or that make sure you do your schoolwork. And when you say it, you mean it. You mean what you say and you say what you mean, and they hear it and they know it. Like, oh, okay, I got to make sure they do that. Now, secondly, those rules that you do give them are necessary things to have. Like, well, make sure by Thursday you do this, or you can't go to that party, right? And then Thursday comes, they don't do it, then you stand on your word and that you're not going to that party, type of thing, right? And they know that there was consequences to that. They know that, oh, dad meant business. We can't go to that party. I should have did that. So those things are necessary, but they should follow in line after the true authority is given off by you. That makes sense.
And I'm guessing, like, if I was a complete degenerate, maybe I was drug addict and sleeping with hookers. You're saying clean, make sure you're healthy. You're sort of oriented in the right way, so that in other words, you tell me don't be living one way and then ask him to do something else. Is that am I hearing that right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying is that you have to, for one, you have to live it, you have to be it, but it has to be real, right? You can't fake authority. You can't make anybody respect you. Either they do or they don't. You know what I mean? And the question comes down to not will they listen to my rules, but do they listen to me, right? Do they respect me enough to respect what I say? That is the question that has to be that men and fathers have to ask. Do I have this
Sure,
real
sure.
authority? You know what I mean? Because that is what respected. Just rules alone are nice to give your children, right? To you can't do this, you better do this, or this will happen, blah blah blah. But that
Yeah,
alone won't make them follow them. You know what I mean? That alone won't keep them in line.
I got you. I got
Yeah,
you.
it's got to be backed by something
I'm
real.
yeah, and I'm trying to connect the dots. I know it seems. I think you guys suggest. I'm fairly confident on this.
Yeah,
Correct me if I misheard Jesse, but
yeah,
I think JLP said the wife is responsible for working on herself. The
yeah,
husband provides, he protects, he facilitates
yeah,
the atmosphere and the area where she's in to fulfill her ministry. I mean, he's looking out for her so she can be under God comfortably as best as
yeah.
he can the husband can accomplish. So she that's on her. Like if she's not under God's authority, I
Yeah.
mean, you it's going to be a really almost impossible.
Yeah.
But from the kid's standpoint, I don't know if they understand abstract. How is this real authority idea? How would you cultivate that? If it's a silver bullet, I would love to have it. I mean,
Well,
if it's something that I can
yeah.
get a hold of or
Yeah.
work on myself with the
Yeah.
kids, yeah, man. So what do you
Well,
recommend?
what do you? So, have you done all the things that you hear JLB talk about? Have you forgiven? Have you spoken to your parents? Have you
Ah,
let that go, that anger, that hate go? Meaning, um, forgiving them for the way they raised you and the mistakes they made with you. Have you done that?
I have, yes, but I see where you're getting at. In other words, just like the wife ought to be working on herself, I should be working on myself.
Right.
Is what you're saying?
And
Gotcha. Okay.
have you done those things though?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I don't want to be out there, like, well, let me tell you what all I've done. I mean,
Right.
I don't want to go that route.
Right.
I'll just say, yeah. I'm under JLP's leadership, man. As far as I don't agree with everything.
Right. Right.
He's extremely. I mean, I've hitched my wagon to him as of right now because I think God's using him to speak to me. So yeah, I'm on board with those fundamental things that you're talking about.
Fair enough. But what I'm really asking is, what do you think the reason is behind why your point to your children or your wife is not being made? Why do you think that you're not displaying this authority that you want to have? Where do you think that you're lacking there?
I mean, I don't think it's a great question. This is more of I'm just touching base with you because it was the topic.
Oh, okay.
And as a father, I think that's and a husband, I think that's probably the biggest challenge is to be in love. I mean, just deciding whether to have a rule or not, deciding whether, I mean, it's the carrot or the stick.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a rule, I mean, I don't want to spank or punish.
Oh, I see.
Let the consequences of their decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have something that's a privilege, that's what I was saying about the sex. I mean, to me.
Well, just really quick, John. Not to cut you off, John,
yeah,
just because I'm running out of time here. Just really quick, do you know? How do I put it? Do you know yourself? Do you know? Do you know who you
I'm
are?
nobody, buddy. I'm nobody.
But not just that though, because I don't want to seem like I'm giving you a Jesse thing. I'm truly asking you, do you know like yourself though? Because, like for example, it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, is that when you are giving these rules or these things to your children or whatever,
right.
Are you doubting yourself when you do it a little bit, or do you doubt yourself in the decisions you make in front of your family? Or what's happening there?
No, I mean, it's my personality. I overthink, it's like that poem that Jesse recommended, "If" by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard, I can't pronounce his name, man.
Yeah.
But it's okay to think, but don't be captured by thoughts.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of Christ's words when he said, if you hoop and holler, going about in the street and act all crazy, trying to pray and get your worship on, well, you have your reward, your choice. But if you go into your prayer closet, the Lord will see that in private, and He'll reward you for it, and your reward's in heaven. I mean, so I'm Team Derek when it comes to the Bible, man.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, if we were to pivot and go, what does the Bible say? I'm Team Derek on that.
But like you're saying that you overthink sometimes, and you're in your head, so it's hard to know what decisions you're making are the correct ones.
No, I probably put myself in the same category as Derek, in that I think I probably if I was to say I had a gift, I would say it's teaching. I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm saying I'm maybe satisfactory with it, and I enjoy it. So, I mean, I homeschool, not because I feel obligated, but because I absolutely love it. So anyway, I mean, you guys having y'all available, and I support y'all. Don't tell anybody, but having y'all available is a resource to me.
Okay.
For you to ask me questions like that.
Yeah. Well,
and and if go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that the best thing, the best advice I can give, because I'm not quite sure exactly what you're getting at clearly, what you're asking clearly. But one thing I'll say is, because I'm running out of time, is the best way to a man to receive his authority again or back is for one is when he gets to know himself, and he realizes and finds himself and know who he is. And when he knows who he is, it is when he knows God. And yes, and when you know who he is, when you know yourself and you know God, then you recognize his voice within. And when you recognize his voice within more and more, which it grows over time, then you listen less and less to the thoughts of the mind. And when you recognize it, and this is what Trump has, is when you recognize the truth from within, you can stand on it and you're immovable. It doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter if you go into your head. You don't change your mind, because you know that what you heard within from God of what to do, you stand on it. And that can only happen when you know yourself and you can recognize God's voice within. So that's the best way that I can describe that people, if they want success in their home or with their wives, their children, is they got to find themselves and get to know themselves and stand on what they believe to be true and recognize who God's voice is. And that's the best way to run the family properly. But
Joel, thank you, buddy. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, John. Call me again. We'll get more into it. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.